Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, I mean from start to finish, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
Madam, let's talk about alliances. What's your honest opinion about them, the political alliances?
They're a joke. Comedy, high comedy. Always. They've always been I don't think we've ever had an alliance that worked in this country. Not even the one that brought the UPND to power.
You don't think that one worked?
No, it didn't. President Hichilema did not need anyone. President Hichilema is the first president since Chiluba, but not even Chiluba. I think Ansata, that won as him. He didn't need an alliance, but he was being nice, essentially. And maybe he was a bit worried at the time. But that was an alliance, really, on paper. 2021 was won fairly and squarely by a person called Hakainde Hichilema. And, of course, the party he led. But otherwise, I think because as a country, we have... our parties are so poor, so weak ideologically, and also the fact that as a country, the aim of our politicians is completely and entirely power. You know,
completely and entirely
power. Okay, across the world, people want power, but Ise. You can have nothing. You can have nothing to give in exchange for that power, and you want power. So the alliances, we have alliances of weakness right now. And I think the biggest problem really with the alliances we're having now is that together, they don't seem, they've got nothing to cohere around. What is it that's holding them together other than their deep distaste for the person holding power? That's not enough.
Do you think the people that go into these alliances have an idea how an alliance is supposed to work? Because from where I stand, I've never been in an alliance, but from where I stand, we're supposed to have an idea who's supposed to lead us, and we are supposed to say, this is our leader, and let's go and fight against maybe the incumbent. And then when we take power, you are going to be minister of what? I'm going to be this position, and this is going to be our president. Not all of us wanting to be president. Do you think these people have got an idea how alliances work?
Well, you don't have to know who's going to be your president when you create an alliance, but you certainly have to do it very quickly. Decide very quickly. You see what I mean? Like you can create a cooperative, and then day one, you choose a leader. And in this case, they lie to each other. It's like, no, we can all be leaders, kind of thing. Let's not, don't show your need for, how is it going to work? Ahead of the 2021 elections, I used to get really abused. Right here at this office, I had so many groups of people coming through, trying to rope me into some kind of political position or other, like join us, kind of thing. And some of them would say, most of the conversation was, HH can't really win on his own, and he doesn't like to work with people, so join us. So let's create a band of others, that maybe forces HH in or takes over from HH, a third force. And I'll tell people, I'm not a politician. I want to in politics. No. I'm not. I don't do this because I want a political position or that I'm going to end. But anyway, that's not why I'm telling you this. One day, they come in, another group, It was every day Saturday. And they're saying, we need to come together. Very interesting people. Very powerful people. That
if you mentioned names right now, I would be jumping.
Yes, we need Shanshani, around office. Okay. And then they're telling me how they would like me to go around, get students, essentially be the face of it. But then someone says, then they sold it to me as a movement. It's a movement, but we know we should remember we might turn into a political party. And me, I'm thinking, so the real idea is a political party, okay. But then the clincher was, this guy says, we must make sure that just because someone led this part, that means they'll be president, because when we get to that presidency, when you get to the point where we are choosing leaders, it has, I burst out laughing. I said, you people, one, don't worry, I don't want to join this thing, and I don't want to be president. But already, you could see what happens in these alliances. You're pretending to be together, but everybody is trying to ensure that I can get a chance to be president. What I really want to be is president, but maybe I can't do it on my own. And so I think that's the problem we're having with our alliances. We need an alliance around ideas, and around ideas and ideas that you can sell to Zambians. Like I keep asking, okay, let's say you come into office, then what? And then also the alliance should make some kind of sense. We see pictures of people sitting together who hate each other, unless they are saints. There's no way Fred maybe and President Lungu like each other. You know what I mean? But maybe they've gone to church and they've confessed that they've. But so you see people together and you think, but how is this alliance work? It's the same thing as
it's like they just want to use each other, but they don't really like each other.
It's like Amos and HH. Amos Chanda. Your brain goes, when you see Amos sitting for the UPND. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't. It's his right, like I say, free will. That's the answer they give. But do any of us see Amos say UPND in his mouth and not get a sense of, okay, how? you know what I mean? So this country is abusing, it really is. And the problem is all of us have got this thing of, no, don't criticize, no, it's not fair, no, let's just look, no, as long as it suits you. As long as it kind of suits you, you refuse to say this is illogical.
But maybe it's about survival, and I see whether I don't like you, but you're my vehicle to where I am going.
Why? I mean, a vehicle. All of you want to go to plot one. Is this a problem? The vehicle is all going to one place. For 5 years. You know what I mean? And that's why we've become so broken. In a country, someone's dream should be to be the best, to be the Chief Justice. That is my dream. I'm a lawyer. I'd like to be a Chief Justice. I'd like to be the best human rights lawyer. I'd like to be this. There should be various sides of excellence. We can't all want to be presidents. Because excellence comes in different sides. The best musician possible, or the best musician activist, the best minister, the best... Kalialia, Bank of Zambia governor. Can you imagine him? You look at him and you say, now this guy has held fort at a very difficult time. It's a miracle we are still a going concern as a country, given the problems we had in the last 5 years. It's a miracle. It is a group of people who have sat together. He should go to his grave proud. Manje, the way this country is, I want to be president, Musokotwane wants to be president, Fred wants to be president, who wants to be president? So these other sites of excellence are always seen as transitional.
I have a question. You talked about Amos working with the UPND. If you were Hichilema, if you were put yourself in the shoes of Hichilema, and Amos changes camp, what's going through your head?
I'd say no. I mean, I wouldn't stop me from buying the card, but that's why it would end. I would not make him my voice. I just wouldn't. Because, the messenger is part of the message. The message is part of the message. Now, if I have to defeat the messenger in my head before getting to the message, it's a problem. Do you understand? You know, if I'm obese and I'm saying, this makes you slim, you know, if you take this, you know what I mean? So the person has to defeat the way I look before getting to the point that if I take this, I'll be slim.
What if you trust that that guy is good in terms of disseminating information, so it should be part of my team?
How can you trust a messenger that, you know what is called dissonance? There's a word called dissonance. Dissonance is zzz, it's not working. You know, the wires are touching. You see what I mean? So essentially, what the UPN, and it's not only Amos, you know, but...
Okay, I shouldn't be laughing.
You know the UPND messaging these days. You know, you have to defeat too many messages. When Frankie, Wadia, you know, Frankie's talking for you. Frankie's talking for the president. And you know, and I'm talking as just a normal human being. You know, there are people where this person did this to me. Now they're saying this. You know, like the natural response. So what I'm saying is, maybe give Amos a background role. Let him write the speeches. If you can't write, which is most of them can't write. Okay? So let him write the speeches.
Most of the UPND media can't write?
Well, most Zambians can't write. So, so there are a few people who are very good at messaging. Emmanuel is good. You know what I mean? I mean, like he can be feeding you crap, but it's well articulated crap. If you see what I mean. So let's say Emmanuel decided tomorrow to become UPND. Tikamone and I, on let the people talk. So what you do with someone like Emmanuel is you tell him, Emmanuel, write this stuff up for us. Then choose people who do not create dissonance in the minds of the listener.
To be able to
Exactly.
send out the message. With that said, how do you look at the PF's chances in the next election? the UPND's chances in the next election?
Okay, the president is going to win.
The president will win?
The president, you see, the president, this is one of the luckiest presidents ever. Who beats him? You know, it's not even about him anymore.
Don't say alliance.
You get what I'm saying? The president is in such a position that it's not even about him anymore. It is that, okay, this is my view. It is that I don't see too many Zambians in enough numbers. I'm not saying no Zambians will vote for the others. I'm saying in enough numbers of us to make anybody else president. So to become president in any country, you need enough numbers of people agreeing that you're the best person. I don't see enough numbers for Fred. I don't see enough numbers for President Lungu can stand. I don't see enough numbers for Kalava. So the worst that can happen is apathy. And apathy usually favors the incumbent. Katupa MP. I think there's drama there. And I think that's where citizens, I don't think people are voting down the line like we've done for so many years. You know, many years we've voted down the line. I don't think we are voting down the line. I think the vote is going to be split between the president will probably get his vote, but down here, many UPND MPs are going to lose. And actually, I don't even understand why there's this level of unhappiness. But it seems to me that we might, for the first time, have a balanced parliament. We might.
When you say balanced parliament, what do you mean?
Which is opposition
and
ruling party together.
The numbers close.
The numbers close. I also think there'll be quite a few independents that will make it through. So it would make for a very good parliament. You know, it's the kind of parliament we had for a moment there before President Manawasa messed it up. I don't know if you're old enough to remember.
I don't. Please enlighten me.
Yeah, so President Manawasa, when he won, I think, backdoor, but anyway, my opinion. When he won minuscule, 29%. Okay, so and Parliament reflected that. So I think it was UPND, Mazoka's UPND was pretty high, and he didn't have enough numbers. But I think MMD still had the majority. I can't quite remember. But for the first time, the budget was almost defeated, and the debate was amazing in Parliament. You know, it was proper intellectual debate. Then he began to he's the one who started this buying of let me use the word buying of getting MPs to cross, you know, and since then, downhill, you know, and it's something I find it very difficult to forgive President Manawasa for, because it took a lawyer as smart as him to understand this lacuna in our law, which says that ministers will be appointed from Parliament. The spirit, remember I was telling you earlier, that the spirit and the letter can be different. And I think the spirit of our Parliament, of our Constitution, is that a ruling party will appoint people from its own benches. But it says from Parliament. So Manawasa, being the smart lawyer that he was, read that and began to appoint ministers from the opposition bench. And from then on, it just became...
Yeah, because if you're opposition or you are independent, if I appoint you minister...
collective responsibility. Yeah, you essentially been co-opted. And so President Manawasa, in that way, weakened the opposition.
The opposition.
Opposition benches, yes. But in short, President, I think the president is going to win, and it's for that reason that I sometimes wonder what, you know, the sense of panic you hear in the UPND, you feel in the UPND. I wonder why. I guess maybe he doesn't want a weak parliament as well. I don't know.
We will talk about that. I want us to talk about the Human Rights Commission board. There's been reports that it's been dissolved. But also I saw a report from State House saying that the board's tenure simply just came to an end. I couldn't get more clear person to give us clear information about the board other than you. I want to know, have you been fired? What's the story?
No, the law just changed. So a new law passed. A new law that constitutes the Human Rights Commission. Mm-hmm. And that law said 3 months after that law passed, the sitting thing would dissolve. So it's a legal thing. It's not. It wasn't anybody saying this has to happen. It's the law. If you see what I mean. So it dissolved because a new law, a completely new law. You know, remember now we have 8 years.
So when the new law came, the law said that after 3 months, the current tenure gets dissolved.
Exactly.
Has there been? Have they renewed?
There's no board right now. So there's no board right now. So the president then will appoint a new board.
Would you be open to be part of the new board if the president wills?
Don't you think that's a conversation I should have with the president?
Come again?
Don't you think that's a conversation I should have with the president?
If you got cruisers outside saying, "Okay, we have a letter for you," are you taking it? Or
the Human Rights Commission is a wonderful place to be. I mean, except that in our period, it was very frustrating because you don't feel that the law as it was very constricting. So there wasn't much that you could do.
In fact, that's where I was coming. Yes. In your tenure, did you feel supported with the law and the political climate?
The law was very weak, and also the Human Rights Commission is so underfunded. It's a joke. You know, I'm always amused about, hey, you've got a job, all these human rights. Anyway, Zambians talk about things they don't know, and then they talk about them with such confidence. You know, that is an ability that Zambians have. You
talk about things they don't understand.
Yes, but it's the confidence. You know, this is yellow. Kind of thing. You can see it's red, but someone is with great confidence saying. So they talk with confidence about things they know nothing about. So the Human Rights Commission essentially, a commissioner is a board member. You meet 4 times a year. It's essentially like, it's not a job.
4 times a year?
Yes. I work for the Alliance for Community Action. That's who pays me. The Human Rights Commission does not pay me. I'm paid by. So there's no such job as Human Rights Commissioner. So if someone wants to be...
Wait, the time you were a commissioner, you're not being paid by the...
No, you get a stipend.
Really?
Yes. There's no salary there.
It's a presidential appointment.
Yes, but that's what you guys think. And so you keep singing, you know. You don't keep singing about it. There's no such thing.
If the president appointed you, I would think that your life has changed.
I mean, in some positions, yes, but not the commission. And it's not something that, even going in, you know, everybody there on that commission has other jobs. You know, the chairperson is a lecturer at university. Everybody has other jobs. We get our money elsewhere. The Human Rights Commission is about human rights. And also, the Human Rights Commission is a demand side. It's on this side of government. It's not on the government side of government. It's on the citizen side of government. So the job of the Human Rights Commission is to protect citizens, to support the citizens' rights.
To stand with the people and
Yes.
talk for the people.
You know, so every government has underfunded it. But it's and when I'm talking about underfunding, I'm not talking about the issue of the stipends, because the stipends, you know, even as you're going in, it's about the ability of the commission to operate.
Do you think underfunding is deliberate?
I think so. When? I think it's underfunded, because the other commissions, you never hear ECZ underfunded. You know what I mean? You never hear ECZ underfunded, and they're not on a stipend. They get huge salaries, but they are full time, to be fair. So if you're a commissioner on the ECZ, that's a job.
Do you people have in the human rights? Do you have like some sort of deliverables and have like budgets that you present to people who are supposed to?
The secretariat does. We are a board. We were a board. The secretariat is who runs day-to-day work. So yes, the budget and all that, but that budget is generally not fully funded. But the worst thing is just the numbers of staff. You know, the tragedy is when you think of the Human Rights Commission in Zambia, you're thinking of high end. You're thinking of politicians being arrested. You're thinking of high end rights. You know, almost elitist rights. You know, rights to expression and that kind of thing. The rights that affect you and me. But the real problem in this country are the rights of the day-to-day citizen. You know, the people sitting in cells forever.
Yes.
The people
and not seeing
arrested for no reason. The people arrested for shishita. The people arrested for debts. The conditions of the prisons. You know, if we could change something there, that would be success. These people we make noise about have got lawyers and generally don't spend too much time in cells. You know, I've been in cells 2 days, 3 days, Nachok. You see what I mean? And also, while I'm in cells, there's noise. Hey, Laura has been arrested. Laura has been. You know what I mean? Everybody knows I've been arrested. Well, someone's daughter, someone's son will be there weeks because some police officers just decided so. That is the most important role of the Human Rights Commission. And I wish it would be well funded for that aspect. Not No, I'm not saying we shouldn't do that side of it, but where we really need change.
Especially where you are able to talk for people who don't have a voice.
Help, first of all, not only talk to them, but help them understand their rights. Because you have Zambians who actually sit in that cell thinking it's okay. Zambian, someone will come and arrest someone's wife or someone's mother because the son has run away, and that woman will willingly go. When there's no such thing, and someone will go and report you to the cells and to the police, and you sleep in cells, and you think it's okay. You see, so there's a huge gap of information on just day to day. The kind of things that government shouldn't even worry about, because I'm sure government worries about whether you're going to say people, the rights to expression and these bigger civil and political rights. But the everyday rights, and also for me, it's the social and economic rights. The right to water, the right to health. The Human Rights Commission in Zambia is silent historically.
I have
that
a question.
Kind of things.
I hear you, and I have a question. When you're Laura Miti and you are a Human Rights Commissioner, and you're speaking on behalf of the people, and some things you say are very unpleasant to the powers that be. Do the powers that be embrace you, or they feel like, why are you talking too much?
I don't know.
You should be able to get the energy.
I've never, not under PF, not under who, not under MMD, because I've been doing this all my life. I don't look at, I don't know how I can put it. It's not for them. You see what I mean? So, I don't even check to know who has heard what I've said.
When you go to, you could get some feedback.
I don't.
You don't find yourself at some function or...
I don't go to too many functions. I've got a very private life. So I don't really, I never rub shoulders with the powers that be. I could if I tried. If I wanted to, I suppose I could, but I don't.
You don't get an email, a message, or phone call, like that's too much?
No. Not this government, not the previous.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.